So you're thinking about moving to Dallas, Texas, but there's that elephant in the room that is the property taxes here in Texas. Well, that big old elephant might be an illusion. What I mean by that is that the object in the mirror might seem smaller than it actually is. You see, there are certain things that you want to know about property taxes, and when you do the math and actually compare it to where you live, the question is, well, is Texas a better deal? In this video, we're going to do the math on all the taxes on 3 different price points so you can gain a full understanding of what it looks like on paper to make that move to Dallas, Texas that you've been dreaming of. And we're getting into it right now. Hey ladies and gentlemen, if you're looking for the most thorough deep dive into all things Dallas, Texas, well, this is the channel that helps you do that. So I invite you to subscribe down below. Make sure you tap the bell for notifications so that you can stay up to date on the current market here in Dallas, Texas. We drop new videos every single week. My name is Jimmy Webb Jr. I'm a local real estate agent, born and raised here, and we're getting tons of calls and emails every single day from people just like you who are ready to make a move here in Dallas, and we absolutely love it. So if you are thinking about buying or selling here in the Dallas area, then you got to reach out. Give us a call, shoot us a text, send us an email, or jump on our calendar if you want to jump straight to a Zoom with us. That is our favorite, but whatever way is easiest for you, we've got your back when making a smooth move here in Dallas, Texas. So today we're talking about property taxes and more importantly what that means for you as a homeowner here in the great state of Texas. But a couple of disclaimers here first. Listen, I'm not a licensed tax professional. I'm not a CPA. I have no affiliation with the IRS, the state of Texas, or DCAT or anything like that, okay? Listen, I'm just a good old boy from Texas, just trying to help out all my good friends out there in YouTube land make a more educated decision. So just make sure you confirm everything that I talk about today with your professional. All of this is just based on my research from public sources of information. Hey, math was my best subject in high school, so I'm fairly confident that I've got all my calculations done correctly. Now today we're comparing Texas with California just because we have so many of you coming from the West Coast, but that doesn't mean that if you're not from the West Coast that this video won't make sense to you, because all you got to do is take the taxes that you are currently working with and substitute them in for the appropriate example. So let's jump on my computer real quick because I think that'll be the best way to explain it, especially for all my visual learners out there. So let's go. So real quick, here's what we're going to do. We're going to look at an example with a $400,000 home first. Then we'll look at a $600,000 example. And then finally, we'll look at a $1 million example. Okay, so now in California, the property tax rates, I read that there's a 2% cap out there, but the average to me seemed to be around 1.1% based on my research. Okay, and I'm using 2.5% in Texas because here in Dallas, the range is from anywhere from 1.8 to 3.4%. So, 2.5 will be right in the middle of that. And there are some additional exemptions here in Dallas that I'll share with you along the way. Okay, so let's start with our $400,000 home example. Now, listen, when I say $400,000, property taxes are determined by the county appraisal district in which you live. So here in Dallas, it would be, as you might expect, the Dallas County Appraisal District, also known as DCAT. All right. So what they do is they determine the appraised value of your home if you were to put your home on the market at that time. Okay. So 400,000 in this example. And then once you have that appraised value number, you'll multiply that by the current property tax rate in the area that you live. Okay, so if you stick around till the end, I'll even share with you a way that you can lock in your appraised value for up to 3 years, which is pretty convenient, right? Now, if you look at the bottom there as well, the California state income for households with an income between $58,000 and $299,000 is 9.3%. And most people who buy a home in this $400,000 price range is 90,000. So you can see that over here. That's how I got that number. Okay, so let's look at California. So property taxes on a $400,000 home at the 1.1 tax rate is going to be $4,400. And then the income tax, state income tax, is going to cost you $8,370 for a grand total of $12,770 on your tax bill. Now, let's look at Texas. So in Texas, 2.5%, 400,000. Your property tax bill is 10 G's. That seems like a lot, right? But you got to remember, as many of you know, Texas is one of those states that does not have a personal income tax. So we got a big old goose egg on that one there for a grand total of 10,000, which is going to offer you a savings of around $2,770, almost $3,000 right there. Okay. Now we get into the exemptions. So here's something that you might not know. So you got to know about the Homestead Exemption, where if your home is your principal place of residence on January 1st of that tax year, you can qualify for up to, get this, up to a 20% reduction off of your home's appraised value. Okay, so if we apply that exemption on this $400,000 example, that $400,000 turns into $320,000 for a new property tax bill of only $8,000, grand total of $8,000 tax bill for a savings of $4,770, almost $5,000 in savings right there. Okay, you getting excited yet? Okay, let's go to that $600,000 example. So again, in California, property tax bill is only $6,600, but person buying a $600,000 home or couple is going to have an income of $150,000. So that tax bill is going to be $13,950 for a grand total of $20,550. Now, if we go to Texas, your property tax bill is a lot higher at $15,000, but again, we don't have the state income tax, so that's a zero right there for a grand total of $15,000, which is going to save you $5,500. Listen, you've got a $5,000 savings right there at this price point right here. Okay. Now, if you implement that homestead exemption, okay, your new appraised value is $480,000 for a new property tax bill of only $12,000, which is going to save you almost $8,000. Okay. Now, a couple of additional exemptions here that you might want to know about. Okay, so if you are 65 and older, you can qualify for an additional $10,000 off of your appraised value. Okay, and then if you are a disabled veteran, you may qualify for some additional exemptions there. So if that's you, then you'll want to look into that further. But I can confirm that it is a maximum of up to $12,000 off, and it's linked to the percentage of your service connected disability, right? So those two exemptions could even pile on even more right there, right? So now let's look at the $1 million example, right? So California property tax rate is only $11,000. But that income, $250,000 is what's going to get you that $1 million home. That's who's buying those $1 million homes for a grand total of $34,250. Now let's look at Texas. Yeah, that property tax bill is a little steep, but again, that zero is really helping us out right there for a grand total of $25,000 for a savings of $9,250, $9,250, right? And so the exemptions, if we pile on the exemptions, Listen, that $1 million now goes to $800,000 for a new tax bill. You get $5,000 off your tax bill right there, property tax bill. Now you're saving $14,250. So are property taxes higher in Texas? Well, yes, they are, but when you look at everything, will you be saving money when you make that move to Texas? Well, when we did the math, it seemed that we were saving a pretty good chunk at every price point. So I believe that the answer is a pretty clear yes at this point. Now, I told you I'd put you on some game with that 3-year lock on your appraised value. And, you know, I was actually put on to this by a buddy of mine. And so I'm just sharing the love today. So there's a company out there called Texas Tax Protest. What happens is you go to them, you pay them a very affordable fee. It's only like $300 or something. And so they'll go in, they'll fight your taxes and usually get that rate locked in for 3 years as well. I know they have a very high success rate doing that. So not only are you going to get that reduced rate on your property taxes, you're also going to get that rate locked in for usually 3 years as well, which is very convenient, right? To be able to know exactly what that number is going to be and to be able to budget for that. So that's super convenient. Well worth the investment, if you ask me. So I hope you found this video helpful. If you did, please tap that like button down below. Make sure you're subscribed as well. I'm telling you, you do not want to miss the next video that we drop. And hey, if you have any questions, feel free to drop me a comment down below. I interact with everybody who comments down there. And if you have any information that maybe I missed or that you'd love to share, let's get the conversation rolling down there in the comments. And hey, I want to invite you, if you are continuing your research here, hey, click the Dallas, Texas living name below. That'll take you to our main channel page where you can use our search bar on that page to look up whatever it is that you're looking for. Maybe it's a topic, maybe it's a specific area, whatever it is that you're looking for, we've probably got it. And if I don't have it, hey, feel free again, drop me a comment down below. And you know, based on the demand, we'll bump up the priority for making that video for you guys, all right? And so if you don't know where to go from here, then you should definitely see some videos popping up on the end screen right now that can definitely point you in the right direction. And yeah, we do a ton of different styles of videos on here, so make sure you click on one of those, whichever one strikes your fancy. And until the next video, I'll see you around town.